So today is Saturday, June 17th. The two readings from today come from the Epistle to the Romans and the Gospel of Matthew. So in Romans 3, the highlighted text here, so the righteousness of God has been manifested apart from the law, the righteousness of God through faith in Jesus Christ for all who believe. All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. They are justified by His grace as a gift. So we talked 2 days ago about the free gift, and we saw that it was related psychologically to embodied cognition, the willingness to give up on the preservation of innate disposition, and to allow those innate dispositions to be transformed through interaction with the world and perception. And we might say that the free gift is the gift of freedom, that the indestructible element of the human disposition survives the torments of finitude in the world and is preserved. So that's what the gift is. The gift is the ability to be free, to willingly suffer torments, and to, through all of that, be preserved in some essential quality. Okay. So the other part that's worth mentioning, I think, as context, is we talked yesterday that psychologically, human suffering is of the same structure as God's sacrifice in having created the world. So there's this giving up and a disintegration of God and His creation of the world. And our suffering is of that same structure or pattern. So that the infinite created the finite in this manner tells us that it's better for us to be finite things, striving for the infinite, than to be nothing, to have freedom, to witness and be witnessed, and to love and be loved. So now reading Matthew from today, the highlighted part, with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. This is written as the words of Jesus. With the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. So within the context of freedom and suffering as a structure of God, we can say something about the meaning of moral freedom and the finitude, lack, and imperfection of creation. So today, the idea is judge not, but rather ask, seek, and knock. Judge not the outer elements of the human being, of other human beings, or of the world, because those are elements built up to weather the storms of finitude. But ask of the world and others and of God those questions that bring one closer to their indestructible centers. Seek to act in freedom and fidelity to one's own indestructible center, to be seen by the sight of God, and to knock on those knotted wooden doors that conceal the inner nature of creation, its light, freedom, and vision. And so what we're talking about today is, with this knowledge of the free gift, or the gift of freedom, and the unavoidable structure of finitude as suffering, if the structure of suffering is a structure of God, under which lies the gift of freedom, then our purposes in the world are not to wrestle with necessarily the kind of outer protective layer of the world, but to engage with that outer protective layer that's built up over millions of years through evolution and survival, to not judge those as the very basis of the world, but to see them as those things that confront us first in the structure of God's disintegration, and to see through those into a deeper core and center, to ask to seek and to knock through the crooked timber to something indestructible, eternal, purposeful,